Okay, this is a nice tricky fraction example. You've got negative 3/8 times in parentheses z minus 1/9 close parentheses equals negative 3/4 times parentheses z take away 1/9. So with a problem like this, there are different ways that you can try to deal with this type of problem. What I typically will do with this type is I'll distribute the fraction first on both sides. So I'm going to multiply negative 3/8 with z, which I'm really multiplying it with z over 1, and I'm going to multiply it with negative 1/9 as well. So with the first fraction there, negative 3z over 8. And if I multiply the second fraction, top with top, bottom with bottom, negative times negative is a positive, and I end up with 3 over 72. Okay, on the right hand side, same idea, distribution, multiplying with z over 1, I end up with negative 3z over 4, and second distribution, negative times negative is a positive, I end up with 3 over 36. Okay. Next step, what may help is to reduce each fraction if you can. The first fraction, negative 3z over 8, is fine. Second fraction, 3 goes into 72 24 times. So we can reduce that down and say plus 1 over 24. And that equals still negative 3z over 4. And positive 3 over 36 reduces to 1/12 if you divide the top and the bottom by 3. Okay, so from here, looking at the denominators, 8, 24, 4, and 12, I usually start with the biggest denominator and start counting multiples of that until everything else would divide into that. That's kind of like a shortcut, I guess, for finding the lowest common denominator. I'd start with the 24 and I'd say 24, 48, 72, and keep going like that. But if I start with 24, 8 divides into 24, 4 divides into 24, 12 divides into 24. So the lowest common denominator is 24. So I'm going to take 24 over 1 and I'm going to multiply it with each fraction. So I did that with the left side, multiplied both those fractions by 24 over 1. Did that with the first fraction. So plus 24 over 1 times 1/12. Okay, and when we do this out, first fraction, 24 and 8 reduce and become 3 and 1. 3 times negative 3z is negative 9z. Second fraction, 24 is completely reduced. All that's left is 1 times 1, so you write plus 1 there. On the right hand side, 24 and 4 reduce and become 6 and 1. 6 times negative 3z is negative 18z, and 24 and 12 reduce and become 2 and 1. 2 times 1 on the top is a plus 2, and that's it. So at this point, you've got kind of a lot of work floating around up above there, but what you can basically see below this line is that we've got negative 9z plus 1 equals negative 18z plus 2. Alright, so we've done the tough part. Now we just got to get z by itself with these regular integer coefficients here. Not too bad, because if we add 18z to both sides, you're going to end up with 9z plus 1 equals 2. I subtract 1 from both sides. I'm going to have 9z equals 1. And then I can divide both sides by positive 9. I should end up with z equals 1/9 as a final answer.